In a new gauntlet of blast beats, breakdowns, and tremolo picking, Drown in Sulphur's Dark Secrets of the Soul offers some new interpretations on the deathcore genre, but still feels a little stale. For some context, I haven't listened to Drown in Sulphur since Black Wind was released, way back in 2019 or 2018, and it was a cool moment seeing what a band that I jammed a long time ago was up to now. And at that time, Black Wind felt like a new exploration into the capabilities of deathcore as a genre. It might have been one of the contributing factors to where the genre went since then. And, you know, there was new kinds of riffs, new kinds of like build-ups and songwriting that I hadn't really heard before. I could be wrong as to like if they were the first, but it was definitely like a big moment for me. Dark Secrets of the Soul, however, feels like a rehashing of what's currently popular in deathcore as well as other deathcore tropes. But at the same time, there is an interesting integration of other genres into the current modern metalcore sound, kind of like how old deathcore was combining older death metal with older metalcore. This is combining what I think is blackened death metal with the modern metalcore sound. You know, specifically like 8-string bands with all the breakdowns that they have. For example, most of the breakdowns on Dark Secrets of the Soul are really fast, rhythmic, kind of chuggy breakdowns that sound like any of the popular metalcore acts recently. And there's also these really powerful and violent tremolo sections that give some of the passages a behemoth quality. I don't really want to call it blackened deathcore because the way they incorporated these segments felt seamless and as if it was part of their sound. But if you were a fan of like the Carnifex albums that adopted similar stuff and want like that but with lower tune breakdowns, then you would definitely love this. But otherwise the term would definitely turn some people off to this. But still, they're wearing corpse paint now and heavily leaning in the blackened direction, so maybe they'll adopt the label themselves and be the champions of the blackened deathcore genre. To transition back to the music a little bit, I know lots of people listen to deathcore for different reasons. Some people literally just want the vocals and nothing else. Others want breakdowns, like myself, or maybe just want some groovy guitar riffs. If you want vocals, like a prominent vocal performance, you should check out their last record, because the vocals definitely take like a backseat on this album, and they're focusing more on symphonic stuff with like atmospheric build-ups and climactic segments that the vocals are really working with the other instruments to create tension and more emotions that you wouldn't otherwise get from more prominent acts in the scene that focus on making weird noises. But if you like breakdowns, you're definitely in luck. There's a lot of the faster ones that I mentioned before, and there are some of the slower, more broken up, dissonant breakdowns that you see on like Slaughter to Prevail's Viking or Lorna Shore Onto the Hellfire. If you're into that, then you'll definitely appreciate these. There's also some like just straight up groove metal parts that are a lot of fun, and a lot of like intersections between genres that either I've never seen in deathcore or I just haven't noticed until now. For example, on Unholy Light, there's like, it's half of it is just like an As I Lay Dying modern metalcore song that it's really cool. It follows a tremolo section at the beginning and it just goes straight up metalcore. I would definitely check that out. And if you think you're interested, listen to Eclipse of the Son of Eden. It's the second song and it pretty much summarizes everything this album is about. And if you like that, then it's going to be full of good songs for you. With that in mind, they're definitely using their whole guitar. Like, they're not just using the bottom string of an 8-string. They like switch it up stylistically a lot. And they change the pace a lot as well. They have a song called Lotus it's like a deathcore ballad, honestly. It's really like dynamic and kind of atmospheric. There's no clean singing if you're worried about that, but it's definitely a good break for moshers during their live sets. That's something that I would want to see, you know. Overall, my feelings are all over the place with this one, however, and it kind of feels like it's testing the waters a little bit and asking the question, where does deathcore go from here? Which I think is very valid, and if you like Carnifex, then definitely check this one out. That's the biggest thing I can say. And I hope they tour with some black and death metal bands, as that could make for some exciting live performances, honestly.
Hey, this is Scott from Fly on the Call. Each week I speak to a different musician, whether they're in an established band like Silverstein or the Wonder Years, or a band on the rise like Spanish Love Songs, Origami Angel, or Meet Me at the Altar. We discuss music and lyrics, the successes and challenges of being in a band, and more, as we get to the core of each artist. The show features musicians of diverse genres and backgrounds, so there's always a chance I'll be talking to your new favorite band. Listen and subscribe at soundtalentmedia.com.